The Medal of Honor is one of the highest honors any military personnel can receive. In order to receive this award, one must go beyond the call of duty and show extreme bravery in the face of danger. With over 3,525 Medal of Honor recipients, each story tells us about the dangers and the risks taken to achieve such an award.
Without hesitation and with complete disregard for his own safety, Lance Corporal Carpenter moved towards the grenade in an attempt to shield his fellow Marine from the deadly blast. When the grenade detonated, his body absorbed the brunt of the blast, severely wounding him, but saving the life of his fellow Marine.
These recipients sacrificed themselves to save the lives of their fellow soldiers, many of whom would not live to receive this award due to combat or strict regulations. One of these stories stands as an example of what this award represents, what makes men heroes, and what makes them almost superhuman. This story is about Sergeant First Class Edward A. Carter and how he defied expectations in the face of impending danger. Edward Carter was born on May 26, 1916. Being born into a family of missionaries, Carter traveled to places such as India and China. However, it wasn't until his family decided to settle in Shanghai. This is where Carter would experience his first taste of battle. Edward felt the need to fight at an early age, claiming that he was visited by a spirit that spoke of great accomplishments in battle. This path will lead Carter to his first battle, the Shanghai Incident. The Shanghai Incident plunged China into a deadly conflict with Japan. During this time, a young Edward Carter saw action and decided to take up arms in the Chinese military. At the age of 15, he fought the Japanese and rose to the rank of lieutenant. However, despite his will to fight, Carter's superiors soon found out he was underage and was promptly sent back home to his parents. This outcome didn't stop him from pursuing a career in the military. He was enrolled in the Shanghai Military School, where he learned and studied Hindi, German, and Chinese. After returning from China, Carter enlisted in the Abraham Lincoln Brigade, where he would see action for the second time. Carter found himself in Europe, where he joined up with the Abraham Lincoln Brigade. This volunteer unit was comprised of soldiers from all around the world, being one of the few units to incorporate both black and white soldiers. This unit supported Republican Spain during the Spanish Civil War, fighting against the Nationals. Carter held the rank of corporal during the conflict. Countless losses forced the Abraham Lincoln Brigade to flee to Paris. The war was lost, but Carter was still hungry for action. After returning from combat, Carter moved to the United States in 1940. On September 6, 1941, Edward Carter joined the United States Army. Moving to Fort Benning in Georgia, he was assigned the role of a cook. Despite his experience, racism still found its way into Carter's military career. On top of that, his association to the Abraham Lincoln Brigade hindered his advancement in the Army. Many who were from the unit had close ties to communist beliefs. The military kept close tabs on individuals from the unit. After a year of being in the military, Carter finally earned the rank of staff sergeant. Despite being the cook, his opportunity to fight was soon to come. The world was engulfed in the Second World War. The Allies had successfully landed in France, creating the second front in the fight against Nazi tyranny. However, despite the success of the landings, British and American forces came under stiff resistance. This would create many opportunities for black soldiers, giving them a chance to fight. In 1944, Carter was shipped out to Europe and ended up being assigned to supply duties. Despite numerous setbacks, Carter had the privilege of serving as one of General Patton's bodyguards. In December of 1944, General Eisenhower instituted a volunteer ground force replacement command. This would allow soldiers of all races to see combat. Carter took the opportunity and joined the unit, knowing full well that he will have to give up his rank and be demoted to private. The reason for demotion was due to prejudice, as many military officials did not want white soldiers being commanded by a black soldier. Carter was assigned to the 56th Armored Infantry Battalion of the 12th Armored Division. Provisional troops were deployed during the Battle of the Bulge. These troops were made up of black support soldiers. Carter's leadership and experience had restored his staff sergeant stripes and gave him the role of infantry squad leader. It was on March 23rd, 1945, where Carter would show true heroism in the face of danger. This would be the day in which Carter would be recognized for his actions beyond the call of duty. Carter and his division moved towards the town of Speyer in Germany. The convoy came under heavy fire. The tank Carter was riding on received damage from a Panzerschreck, forcing him and his fellow soldiers to seek cover. Under heavy fire, Carter and 3 other men volunteered to attack the enemy position. With virtually no cover, the 4 of them made their way across an open field. 2 of the 3 men were instantly killed. The other was seriously wounded. Even though Carter was shot 5 times, he still managed to get back up and return fire. 8 German soldiers tried to capture Carter, but this proved to be futile, as he killed 6 of the 8 German soldiers and captured the other 2. On the way back to the convoy, Carter interrogated the 2 prisoners in German. They gave Carter valuable information on German positions within the area. This would allow U.S. troops to move forward without being contested by the enemy. This action alone earned Carter the Distinguished Service Cross on October 4, 1945. Later, he would be promoted to Sergeant First Class. After the war, Carter tried to re-enlist in the army, but was denied after allegations of communist ties to the Abraham Lincoln Brigade. These unfounded allegations and the wounds sustained from battle denied Carter the ability to serve in the military. Carter would later die of lung cancer caused by shrapnel in his neck. Carter died on January 30th, 1963, at the age of 46. Racial prejudice played a factor in receiving the Medal of Honor. With over 1 million black soldiers serving during World War II, none had received or had been considered for the award. This made many skeptical of military practices during the war, leaving many to believe that prejudice within the United States military had hindered black soldiers from receiving the Medal of Honor. This was confirmed in 1993, when the Army had contracted Shaw University to investigate racial disparity in the review process. The findings concluded that there was, in fact, strong racial discrimination against black soldiers during the war. The investigation had recommended 10 black soldiers for the Medal of Honor, including Edward A. Carter. Congress passed legislation allowing for 7 of the 10 soldiers to be awarded the Medal of Honor. On January 12, 1997, the Medal of Honor was given to Carter's son, Edward A. Carter III. Finally, on January 14, 1997, Edward A. Carter was buried with full military honors at Arlington National Cemetery. In total, 8 decorations were awarded to Edward Carter, including the Combat Infantry Badge, the Bronze Star, the Purple Heart, the Army Good Conduct Medal, the American Defense Service Medal, the EAME Campaign Medal with oak leaf clusters, the World War II Victory Medal, and finally, the Medal of Honor. Although he didn't get to see his achievements showcased to the world, he was able to leave a proud legacy, one that defies expectations and shows true character on the battlefield. This was a man who was shot multiple times, but was still able to get up and engage the enemy. I wouldn't have been able to imagine the pain or the exhaustion he experienced while in combat. It's almost unbelievable, but it isn't. Even though it sounds like something straight from a movie, it actually happened. That's what makes this story so fascinating, because it shows us what humans are capable of.